was invited by the NCTC and the White House National Security Council to introduce our academic partnership model. We sat around the table and realized that the US and other Western nations are losing the war against social media and extremism. And our model is predicated on the fact, who better to develop alternative and counter narratives than the very same audience that ISIL and other extremists want to recruit. So while the idea was good, I was also mindful, just given the sensitivity of the topic, would faculty welcome this kind of hands-on project into the classroom? So I ended up contacting 10 of our faculty around the world and introduced the concept of, would you invite your students, would you allow your students to develop a social or digital initiative, product or tool, an initiative, product, or a tool to push back on extremism in a way that they think is most appropriate? And the overwhelming response from faculty, deans, and even campus presidents who needed to clear and vet this idea, given it was so innovative and so different, they all said, absolutely. We are going to stand shoulder to shoulder with the US government in navigating transnational security issues such as extremism. In order for peer-to-peer to work, we need to find a faculty member who teaches an appropriate course where peer-to-peer can be dropped in to represent either 50% of the grade or 100% of the grade. Those courses include marketing, advertising, promotion, social media, media arts, or video production. So that's one side of the house. The other is we've had great interest from international relations, political science, human rights, religious studies, at the master's or undergraduate level. So because the initiative of the program is to develop a social and digital media initiative, product, or a tool, we find many faculty representing different courses of study see that this particular objective aligns nicely with their syllabi. So in our program, we'll take a class, typically 10 to 30 or 40 students, and they operate as one agency. They do research. They come up with a big idea, an initiative, product, or tool to counter extremism, either on their campus, their community, their country, or even globally, given social media is ubiquitous. They present their idea to us, and you have to hand it to the US government because they realize that in order for this thing to happen, we need students to have a very long leash and really full authority to develop a campaign that they think is going to be appropriate and credible to their audience. So once they send their creative brief, and that's what we call it, to EdVenture Partners, really as a quality check, we will then provide the class with a $2,000 budget. And that really changes the dynamics of learning because now students have money to go do something. So once they receive their money, they stand up their campaign. They will be developing their Facebook pages. They will be developing the Twitter campaigns. They may go into the video production studio and come up with a couple of YouTube videos. They may be beta testing a mobile app for vulnerable young Muslims. They may be developing the script to a play based upon real life stories of young people in Serbia who have been killed in jihad and taking that play around high schools in Belgrade. We have seen so many different ideas, how to create a mobile app to further accelerate the migration and asylum process in Finland. So every idea is different and it's localized to those students' community, country, and again, if they want to do something global. I don't think extremism is going to go anywhere over the next 5 years. I see it's going to fester and continue to grow. I believe that Western forces, the coalition, will eliminate the caliphate of ISIL where they don't have the geography, but there will always be the risk, there will always be the probability that terror, extremism, hate speech, propaganda is going to exist in the virtual world and online. I really believe that it is critical to get millennials as well as Gen Z, the new generation, which are the true digital natives that exist in our planet today, who are spending an inordinate amount of time online to be part of the solution. And we have seen it since this program started. About every 15 weeks, things change in the social media milieu. And we believe that it's students' use of viral technology and its concepts that can really be a powerful tool. Over the last 3 semesters, we've had 3,000 students, which are unleashing a social media tsunami against ISIL and other extremists, all through social media. 3,000 people pushing against terror is powerful. And I really believe you need to leverage the messaging, leverage the counter narratives, as well as the alternative narratives against extremism. Now, we also know there are economic realities. Employment is really one of the crux and problems of why so many people, particularly in the MENA region, are attracted to extremism. It's a wage, it's employment. And in some countries, employment doesn't exist. So it's a big problem. Our initiative, peer-to-peer challenging extremism, is not the solution, but it's certainly an arrow in the quiver of good ideas that need to be funded, that don't cause any harm, and they're also much less expensive than a drone.